What's going on, everyone? ADI here. I've got a pretty epic haul for me, as far as my my hauls go. You know, I usually don't get too crazy, but I got quite a few books in this one. I got some slabs. I've got personal grails, some really cool variants, hard to find books. So let's get to this. This one here is Amazing Spider-Man number 792. This is the Phoenix variant. I picked this up because I love the cover so much. This is a Stegman variant. It's also first appearance of Maniac, but I really love this cover a lot. I love the colors on it. I love the glowing eyes, the purples, the yellows, the reds, the fire, like this kind of crazy crackle fire pattern in the background. I just think it's a stunning cover, and it just has really great colors. So definitely had to pick this one up. This is like a near mint. Next book I got here, this is from Valiant. This is Book of Death number 3 of 4. This is the Paulo Rivera. I believe it's 1 in 50 or 1 in 60 variant. I'm not quite sure, but it's one of the harder variants to find. I love this cover. I love the colors on it. It's got kind of, I'm really a fan of Paulo Rivera's work. This one's a little more anime-esque. It's got a lot of the Valiant universe characters in there in the background with, like, you know, death masks essentially. It's just a really great cover. I haven't seen this one in anybody's video. This is a solid, like, near mint copy as well. But just a very, like, kind of simple art, very composed cover, and just really great colors. I love the earth tones in there. So definitely had to pick this one up. Just a really, really cool, hard to find variant. Next book I have here is Vampirella Countdown to the Second Coming. This is the prototype edition. This is the Jenny Frison variant cover. Love Jenny Frison's artwork. I mean, she just does some amazing stuff on Vampirella, Red Sonja, Wonder Woman, and a lot of other older titles. Just really enjoy her art style, how she kind of has like nice thick lines and very soft tones on the insides of those lines. Great colors. Vampirella just looks amazing here. I mean, it's just such a great, just an absolutely gorgeous cover. Great colors, great form, pretty solid shape for this copy as well. So really happy to pick that one up. The next book I have here is Daredevil number 77. This is another book off of my Daredevil run list. Spider-Man appearance, Submariner appearance. Been looking for this one in a nice high grade. This is probably a very fine near mint. Still has a good gloss on it. Very nice spine. I mean, there's really no spine ticks on it. The corners are solid. You know, it's like off-white pages. But really happy to pick this one up in a nice grade. Another book off my Daredevil run. This is number 81. This is another one that I've been looking and looking for this thing, and I just cannot find it in a nice grade. This is the first Black Widow in the title, and this is a pretty sharp copy. It's also one of those thicker, like, square-bound books, so they're a little more difficult to find in higher grades. But this has got really nice pages, really solid centering. It could use a press. Overall, it's really solid. I'd probably put this in the, you know, near mint minus or better category, maybe with the press even better. So, but really happy to pick that one up finally. You know, getting closer and closer on that run. This book, Tales to Astonish 59, this is another first appearance in a run of Hulk, so it's the first time he appeared in Tales to Astonish. This was actually on my want list for 2017, but I really was only collecting last year for like probably half the year, and had some other things I had to take care of. So I didn't put it on my 2018 want list initially, but I kind of revised my want list, removed a couple books and added a couple books, and this was one of them. This is a solid, very fine copy. I mean, it's got really nice centering. You know, it's got a really nice spine. There are a couple like light spine ticks in the white, but it's really clean. I mean, really, really clean. I'd probably say this is like off-white white pages, but super stoked to have this in here finally in my collection. And, you know, having this and going back through my collection and seeing what it is that I have for Tales to Astonish and the early Hulk books kind of inspiring me, or like kind of jolting me to get back in and collect some of those books. So really stoked to have this finally in my collection and in such a nice high grade. You know, couldn't be happier. So this book I picked up because it's a Golden Age book. It's from 1959, Tweety and Sylvester by Dell Comics. This is a 10 center. I picked this up because it was super cheap. I got this for $8, and it's like a near mint copy. Very cool cover, very simple. Love the purple. I mean, it's a really pretty looking book, and you know, to have it in such high grade. I mean, any Golden Age book in that condition for $8. I mean, there's no way I'm passing that up. You know, it doesn't matter what it is, but yeah, super stoked to have this. It's kind of an awesome book, and you know, I think I'm gonna put it up on my wall. It's pretty awesome. So Doom 143 actually showed this in his last haul video. I believe it was his last haul video. I was talking about Freddy562 had mentioned it to him, and this book has actually been on my radar for a long time. But I spent so much time focusing on Silver Age, Bronze Age, you know, my Daredevil run, that the modern stuff I kind of didn't really pick up. And there's a list. I have a list of variants that I've seen from various people's videos or stuff that I've just kind of seen out in the wild that I've wanted to pick up, and this was one of them. So this is Black Widow #2. This is the Frank Cho variant. I believe it's a 1 in 50. Very gorgeous cover. Lots of great lines. I mean, Frank Cho does a great job of utilizing lines in his drawings and in his covers. And this is just a really solid one. I mean, you got great colors, black, gray, and then that red for Black Widow really pops out. It's just a really gorgeous cover. And I picked this one up in a CGC 9.8 with white pages. So super happy to add that to my CGC collection and you know, just to my PC. Super gorgeous cover. Another slab that I picked up, I believe that Doom showed this book a couple hauls ago actually, but you see this in a lot of haul videos, you know, over the past couple of years, and this is one that I've really wanted to pick up as well. This is one of my favorite Venom covers. It's by I believe it was a 1 in 20 variant, Thunderbolts 110 by Lionel Yu. And it's one of my favorite covers with Venom on there. He just looks like a beast. The art just has a great style to it. There's a lot of lines. The colors are great. I mean, one of the things that really does it for me is this orange in the background and how it's kind of highlighting off of Venom's skin. I mean, it's just absolutely badass. I love the teeth aren't perfect. They're just kind of jagged and chaotic. You got these veins coming out of his neck. I mean, he just looks like he's just chaotic terror incarnate. I mean, just badass. And he's got the glowing eyes. I ended up picking this one up, CGC 9.8, white pages. Another one to add to my CGC collection and my PC. Super happy to finally get this book in such a high grade. Couldn't be happier. This book here is a personal grail. This is Ninjak #25. This is a 1 in 50 Jenny Frizen variant. And I can't believe that I actually got this book. So this is a 1 in 50, but this issue only had like 5,400 copies or so that were ordered. So if you do the math out of that, I mean, you're talking about 100 and a little, barely over 100 copies of this book, maybe. That's, you know, depending on, you know, how many they actually printed and distributed. But it's a very rare book, and this cover is so badass. It's got to be one of my favorite covers that I have in my collection. Jenny Frizen just does an absolutely fantastic job. It's got amazing colors. Even though they're not super bright, they just work really well together. There's like a deep blue color. I mean, you got these grays. It's got like kind of textured. The eyes are just like absolutely glowing. Look at that. Just amazing. I just love this cover. That skull kind of floating with the smoke. It's just beautiful. I mean, I sometimes I just sit in my chair and just stare at this thing. I'm just like, I can't believe I actually got it. The artwork is absolutely beautiful in my opinion, and it's just such a hard to find book, and I can't believe that I finally actually have it in my collection. This is another personal grail, and this is another one I cannot believe that I actually have it in my collection now. But this is Tales from the Crypt #33. This is the origin of the Crypt Keeper. And I've always been a big fan of Tales from the Crypt, watching the show, you know, when I was a kid. My wife and I still watch episodes of it. We have all of it on DVD. I didn't grow up reading these, but I grew up watching the show. So this is definitely a book that I've always wanted to get. I've always been fascinated by the Tales from the Crypt EC series, but the books, I mean, can get really expensive even for low grades. But this book is in a really, really nice grade. I mean, it does have some flaws, but it's nicely centered. There's a couple little tiny tears like by the bottom staple, but everything's really nice. It's and clean. There's nothing too crazy. There's a little crease like down in the bottom there, as you can see, and there's a little crease on the back cover. But otherwise, it's got nice gloss. It's got nice off-white pages. Just a great Jack Davis cover. Great story to read. I love the colors on the cover. I mean, you're talking, you know, these are like browns and yellows. You've got some green on there. Look at the two-headed freaks. I mean, just you get the mummy. I mean, just an absolutely beautiful copy. And I can't believe that I have this in my collection now. I mean, it's just for, you know, a book that's so old and such nice shape. You know, this is really a personal grail of mine, and you know, couldn't be happier to add this to my collection. I actually have one more book, and this is the one that you've all been waiting for. I finally got my first Holy Grail. Many of you may know what this is because I've been working on a run, and I finally got my copy of Daredevil #1. And this thing is a beauty. This is Daredevil #1 from 1964. Stan Lee's story, Bill Everett art, Jack Kirby and Bill Everett cover. Origin and first appearance of Daredevil. First appearance of Karen Page and Foggy Nelson. Gorgeous copy. It's got off-white pages. I picked this up as a 6.5 off-white pages. This thing is beautiful too. I mean, it presents amazingly well. It's got some flaws on it that are kind of hard to see. I mean, it says that, you know, that there's a little bit of like water staining over here, which you can't really even see it. There is a little tiny bit of light tanning on the very edge over here on the right. There is like a crease on the back cover, just on the cover, that kind of is about 1.5 inches or so, like right here. But otherwise, this thing is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I can't even believe that I have it in my collection now. I mean, I'm still missing, you know, minus the 2 books that I picked up plus this, I'm missing 11 books now. And this is obviously the most difficult one to get. I mean, it's such a high-priced book. But I finally have this one, so I'm in a home stretch. I've got 11 books to finally pick up. And I mean, I don't even know what to say about having this book in my collection. I mean, I finally have Daredevil #1. I mean, I'm so excited. I'm so, like, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say, but I finally got it. I've been saving up money. I've been selling books, just trying to, you know, get that little chunk of change to be able to finally pick up this book. And, you know, I was looking at one, you know, I was trying to get in like a 4 or 5, and I sold some extra books and kind of had a little bit of extra money to save in, and I decided, heck, let's just do it. Let's go for a higher grade to kind of, you know, most of my run is kind of in the very fine range. So this is just a really nice copy to add to that. And like I said, it presents amazingly well. So that is the last book I have to show. This is kind of a big haul for me. You know, Holy Grail, you know, some personal grails, variants, hard to find books, and, you know, so it might be a little while before I have another haul video. May do like a back issue video or something like that, because there's some runs that I want to put together. But otherwise, you guys, thank you for watching. You know, I really appreciate the support, and I hope everybody has a good day. All right, talk to you later.